Welcome to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations out of the box. This webinar is being recorded and will be distributed to attendees following the event. All attendees are in listen-only mode, so please use your Q&A panel to ask any questions. My name is Pedro Herrera. I hold a Logistics and Supply Chain Management Master's degree and work at Capgemini as a functional consultant. Our goal today is to present you with a make-to-order orange juice production process for the food and beverage industry. The demonstration covers a high-level end-to-end make-to-order production process. In today's agenda, we will cover product information management, sales orders, safety stock and procurement, production process, quality orders, product delivery. Process overview. The orange juice processing company extracts, sells, and distributes orange juice by extracting concentrate from fresh oranges, mixing concentrate in line to produce orange juice, producing frozen orange juice concentrate, reconstituting, filling, and packaging orange juice concentrate. Additionally, the company has two sellable co-products, extracted orange pulp and orange peel oil. Shelf life is enabled for both additive materials and finished products. Quality orders are created after orders are reported as finished, therefore requiring users to specify attribute values for the individual batches to continue. Products are delivered to the end customer. Demo scenario. The demo will show how to create a make-to-order sales order, satisfy safety stock and procure materials, running master planning to create planned purchases and production orders, confirming purchase orders to meet safety stock requirements, controlling shelf life for raw materials and finished products using expiration dates, receiving purchase material and automatically allocating batch numbers. Produce orange juice and frozen concentrate by batch tracking bulk production, containerizing end products, generating quality orders. Update quality orders after production by recording quality test results and updating batch attributes. Deliver and invoice sold items to customer by automatically reserving item batch numbers, delivering sales order items to customers. The following images serve as reference only and does not depict the actual process being shown. We will start the demo by showing how product information management controls certain aspects of the process. Once we log in, we're going to go to the product information management module, products, and release products to review some of the P9000 item record details. So once the page is open, we'll see this general fast tab where it's going to show us some key elements about tracking and usage. So the first thing we can notice is that the storage dimension, meaning that the product's going to be tracked by site and warehouse, also by batch, but most important, it's going to use the expiration date to control how the item is going to be issued from the inventories, meaning first expiration, first out method. Moving along into the sales tab, we can also see some information like available to promise, meaning that with the current existence, the system will view what can be issued or sold. Okay, so it means that in the next 6 days, we have an available quantity of 1,000 items, unless new orders come in. At the inventory level, we can see how many items we have available. So if we go to the on-hand inventory, we'll see available and non-available batches. In this case, batch 401 has 480 quantities, and batch 449 has 520, and the remaining batches just were depleted. Also, we can figure out and see some batch details. Our batch details will provide information from basically two perspectives, internal ones and external ones. The internal one, basically, it's what's produced. So we have a manufacturing date, best before date, last tested date, expiration date, and shelf advised date. But also, if this product was a raw material or purchased, we can also be able to track the vendor batch number and the vendor expiry date and other information. And this information would be captured at the time that the inventory batch was received. Now, from the engineering perspective, let's take a look at the formula that's behind this. So at the top, we have a formula version. So we have the formula version, the size, but most important here is that the formula is active and it has been approved in order to be processed. At the bottom, we can see the formula lines, and this is a list of all the elements in quantities or proportions that will be required for the process to continue. So as we can see, this item, P9000, basically requires 0.3 units of P8000. But as we move along down, we can see the proportions like 12 bottles per case and cardboard, etc., etc. It's still within the engineering. Let's go to the route. Now, the route provides the path that the item is going to take in order to be produced. And it's also controls the operations that are required for the process. So in this case, in order to produce the concentrate, the system will require to reconstitute, then pasteurize, and fill and pack the end product. We also have some tabs here for more information, like the order, the setup, the time it takes. So in this case, it's saying that it will process 60 units per hour, and the resources that are required. These resources can be, of course, skills, work, machinery, etc. Another important aspect about the route is and the operations. These operations can be basically be linear, like one after the other. It can be parallel, meaning that two processes start at the same point, or networked, meaning that there's multiple starting points to end up with the same product, the end product. Finally, let's look at the master planning. Okay, so in the master planning tab, we have basically three aspects that I want to cover: the forecast, the coverage, and the order settings. The forecast gives us basically three views, meaning the demand coming from the customers, the supply from the vendor, and the inventory from within. So if we go to the demand, okay, this is what the sales department is expected to come in according to their sales figures or expected sales figures. There's none right now. From the supply, there's nothing in here as well, but basically this is entered so we can understand the supply capacity as it can affect the production process. And next, we have the inventory forecast, which is the amount of items that we foresee to be in stock as a buffer. Now, the item coverage. The item coverage is basically our safety stock. What do we need to have in stock at the inventory level in order to guarantee that we can deliver on time? At this time, this item, P9000, for a specific site and warehouse combination has a minimum of 1,000. So that's the minimum that the system will allow it to exist before triggering more production orders. Also, okay, we can see some details. And even though the system is originally was projected to forecast or to create a master plan for 100 days forward, I've changed those values to keep it short for 7 days. And finally, we have the default order settings. Now, the default order settings controls basically 3 aspects as well. The purchase, which is the supply. In this case, we have nothing, but it basically what it says is that it controls what the minimum, the maximum, and the multiple of items that can be purchased or should be purchased. The same thing applies to sales, which is basically our demand. It's nothing, there's nothing there, so there's nothing really affecting the process. And we have the same thing in the inventory, so nothing is there. So by having these 3 default order settings empty, the system will rely on the item coverage to move forward. So let's close and let's go back. Next, we will show how to start a sales order process to catch customer item requests that will be included in the production plan. From the home dashboard, I'm going to select sales order processing and inquiry, all sales orders, and I'm going to create a new sales order for the beverage company. So I'm going to select the customer account, which is US 027. I can add additional references numbers like requisition or customer reference. And I'm going to set the delivery date. So the delivery date for this, let's set it to the 29th. And I'm going to confirm those dates because I'm going to promise that. Additionally, I can include a sales taker. And click OK to continue. At this point, I'm going to select the item that the customer is requesting, which is basically P9000. And enter the quantity amount that he's requesting, 520 units. Click Save. At this point, at the line level, I have several options. I can assign it a production order or a new batch order. If I assign a production order, the system will generate a single production order to track the production of these units. However, I can also say to create a new batch order, and the system will create a single batch order to track the quantities that the customer has requested. I'm not going to do that for now. Following, I'm going to confirm the sales order, meaning the customer has agreed to that. Okay, I don't want to print any confirmation. Confirmation date is as of today. The amounts are there. So let's click OK. It's giving us a warning that we're not printing the document. Problem, we can skip that. Now, if we can go to inventory and we can see your on-hand inventory, we can see that we have 1,000 available units and the system has ordered 520. So let's close this and move forward. From the home dashboard, we're going to go to the master planning workspace, run the master planning, and we're going to do that just for product P9000. So the system is going to take into account all the forecast values, all the item coverage, and all the requested orders. Once that's completed, I'm going to refresh. And as you can see, the system has generated a number of purchase orders and production orders for all the items that are required for the manufacturing. For more details, we're going to go into the plan orders tile, so we can see all the details. And at this point, I want to take a look at our end product, which is the orange juice from concentrate. I'm going to open that. And we're going to see how this item has been exploded with the subcomponents. So I'm going to click on explosion, and as you can see, the system tells me all I need and what it has triggered. So for the orange juice concentrate P9000, the system will filter water, some vitamins, but also will need some elements coming from the P8000. And if we keep going on, drilling down, we'll see how the P8000 will depend on the production of the P7000 and the additives until we get down to the purchase of all the oranges. Now, at this point, at the upper level, let's say a P9000, we have several tabs here that can be quite interesting. We have the Gantt chart. We will show you what the effort in time in the calendar will take. We can also have actions, which are recommendations made by the system in regards to each particular item that's been captured. So whether to decrease, increase, or adjust the amounts that are required. Also, we can see any item that can be in critical levels, so you can understand what the effect of actually producing this item will take. So having seen that, let's go back. I'm going to close this again and go to the master list. Now that we agree that this is all required, the only thing left for us to do is to confirm. So I'm going to select all here, all these plan orders and production orders, and firm them so they will take an effect. So basically, by clicking firm means that it's already a go ahead for production. So the system will actually create all the requested orders and batches, so we can start working on those. And click OK. Okay, so right now the system is creating the individual purchase orders and production orders for each of the elements that are here. So it's going to take a few seconds to complete, because it's, validating vendors and quantities and all that. So once we have completed this process, we're ready to go with basically our procurement process and carry on any remaining work, like confirming with the vendor So now the plan orders is cleared. So I mean that's been processed. There's nothing here left. Okay. So now this is the end of the master planning. Come back here. We'll close this. And we're back to the user dashboard. Next, we will show how to review created purchase orders and receive requested raw materials needed by the production process. Back from the user's dashboard, we're going to go into the purchase order preparation workspace. Here, we can see that there are 6 purchase orders that hasn't been sent to the corresponding vendors. And all these are required for the production. So the first thing we need to do, I'm going to select them all. I'm going to say confirm, because the system created them automatically. We can review them, we can adjust them. But now, once we have agreed on the items and the quantities, we need to confirm them. And then we can just print them or send them by email or some other means to the vendor confirming that we need those items. So not only the quantity, but the agreed delivery time. It's important in here. So at this point, I'm just going to confirm that, wait for the process to complete. And once the order has been sent, now the warehouse is able, that has been cleared. So there's nothing pending already here. Now, the next thing, now the only tasks that we have is basically, let's go here to the all purchase order tile. And the only task remaining will be basically for the inventory and the warehouse employees to confirm and receive the items as they are delivered. I can go and do that one purchase order at a time, but that's going to take some time. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is going to click all these purchase orders. I'm going to go here to receive, and I'm going to go to the product receipt. So it's going to create a product receipt journal for those items. And it will, and from here, we'll enter information that is required to fill out that journal. So to start with, every receipt has a corresponding number. So our receipt number, in this case, is going to match the ones, the purchase order, but it can be any different. Also, the product receipt date, we're going to assume that it's today. But for every header line, we have a detail line. So in here, we can review the items, the quantities. We can adjust that because sometimes it's not delivered exactly. But yes, we can do that. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close for receipt, meaning that we have received these items. And with that, we have closed that order line. I'm going to continue, do the same thing for the next purchase order, and the same for the closed line. I'm going to close for receipt its lines. I'm going to keep on doing this until I've reached or completed the remaining purchase orders. Now, this can be managed from a terminal, from a mobile device, or application. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's available. So let's keep on moving here. Let's keep on registering. $50. So let's close that one. And last, 251. Okay, let's close those 2 items. So all the information should be correct. Of course, there's other information that we can basically enter there. We can, of course, adjust the amount, as I've said. And when we're finished, we can just press OK. And by clicking OK, the system is not only going to accept these raw materials but it also is going to assign inbound or incoming batch order numbers to every individual material that is batch tracked. So I'm going to click OK. This is going to take a few minutes or less to conclude. And once the process is completed, all the required items that are needed in our production process will be available at the corresponding site and warehouse level so that the production employees can manually or automatically pick them up and incorporate that into the formula as they're producing any of the required products. Okay, so it took about a minute. As we can see, let's refresh here. Okay, not only were these purchase orders properly confirmed, but it also stated that all the inventory items belonging to them have been already received by the warehouse. Having completed this, okay, we can close this, close the workspace, and go back to our home base dashboard to start our production process. Point in time in the process, we have created the sales order, we have run through the master planning, we have confirmed the purchase orders, we have received the items required for production. So we're ready to start the production process for extracting concentrate for the fresh orange juice. From the home base dashboard, I'm going to go to my favorite, select production scheduled, and we can see that the system has scheduled one order per dependent item. So I'm going to start here with the P6000. I'm going to go to production order and I'm going to say start. Now, for this particular production order, I don't want the system to automatically post a picking list because I want to go and manually change values if they're required. So I'm going to say, do not post a picking list now. Click OK. So the order has disappeared from here. I can now go to the production control, all production orders, and I can see, well, let's just filter out this here, make it much easier. P6000. We can see at the top that one production order has been started for that item. Now, at this point, it has started. However, I do want to know what the picking list was. So I'm going to go here to the picking list. Okay, and at this point in time, maybe some employee at the warehouse level is going through and it's manually adding the batches. Okay, as they go pick and collect. I'm not going to need these because they're just too small for that, so I can just delete those. Okay. No, sorry, wrong button. Okay, so I'm going to keep these buttons, and I can, of course, at the floor level, change these batches if there's any other available. Okay, so I'm going to validate, make sure that everything is okay, and after that's completed, okay, I can post it, meaning that all the items required for production has been collected at this point. So it's indicating that's collected. Great. So we can, and the production has started. That's wonderful. So as the time goes by, we can just, as the next step, go and report it as finished. So I'm going to come here, report as finished. Okay, we can see here on the list all the items that will be produced. Okay, as well as any co-product that are part of the process. I'm going to turn here to a general tab, and I'm going to say to end mark the route. and mark the picking list, so there's nothing more to be picked, and the route is going to be ended, as well as the job. Okay, I can of course enter any good quantity, any error quantity, and any other information that's been asked here. I'm going to click OK. And the production for P1000 6000, which is the orange juice extract, it has been reported as finished. However, I do want to check if the machine time or anything else is pending. And as we can see, there is a journal, which is the route card journal, is still pending from posting, and most likely has to do with machinery. So yes, indeed, it has machine, and of course, it took an hour for basically for the operation 10, and another, about an additional hour for the other one as well. Okay, so that's good to go. So let's post that. Okay, posted without any issues. That's great. Everything is posted. Fine. So it means like the production order is all complete. So as a last option, we're going to say, okay, let's end it. There's nothing else to do with that. Click OK. It's been posted. Let's refresh here, and it's ended. At this point, of course, having the orange juice ready, the next step will be to carry on the next step, which is production of P7000. So next, we'll see the production process and the quality process for the mixing concentrate to produce orange juice. Back from home P dashboard, 7000. I'm going to go again to the production scheduled, and of course, we'll take over P7000. So within here, I'm just going to open it, and I'm going to say start. But this time, I'm going to let the system pick and post the picking list. That's great. So actually, I'm instructing the inventory and the warehouse personnel to go into the aisles and the bins and pick those specific batches for the items that are contained within. Now, again, as the time goes by, the production has to be reported as finished, and we will do so. And by doing so, we'll ask it to end the mark route and end mark the picking list, and click OK. Let's see if we have anything else here pending. Most likely we do. No, we don't. So that's good. So as part of this process, this item, P7000, is subject to a quality order. So I'm going to go to quality orders, and here we see. So there's this instrument called the bricks test. Okay, so it's basically a mass flow, and it's telling me that in order to pass, I need to enter a value which is within this range. So we have a standard value of 65, a minimum of 8.5, and a maximum value of 70 in order to pass. So I'm going to click here on results, edit, enter one test was conducted, and the value, let's say, was 66. As I click on tab, okay, it will tell me that is valid test results. I don't have to go to validate. However, someone has to give the okay on this quality order. So this time I'm going to click here, validate. I'm going to select the person who's actually signing the test off, which is Helen Gasca, but it can be anyone in the company who has been authorized to do so, and press OK. Now, the important thing about this is that if the item doesn't pass the quality test, it won't be allowed or will be available to move forward into the next process. So we have this, and now our last process is to report it as end. So there's nothing else. Every process related to this item has been completed. So let me press OK, and that's great. So let's close all these items and come back to this page and back again to our home base. The following section, we will explore how the production and quality process works for item P8000, and it's relating about producing, filling, and packing the frozen concentrate. From the main dashboard, I'm going to go back again into my production schedules, pick up the following item, which is required, and I'm going to click Start. Okay, so in this case, I do want to post automatically, so it's already set up there. That's fine. So the production starts. Now, at this point, it has started, so it's no longer scheduled. So if I refresh, it's going to go out. Going to go back to the all production orders and search for that item, 8,000, and we're going to see that the production order has started, and it's expecting 156 units. Here, I'm going to go into. So let's review what we have here. So we have a picking list has been created and a route card has been created. So let's see what the picking list looks like. So the journal is here. It's telling me, it's reporting all the elements that it has added to complete that together with the batch number. I'm going to close that. That has already been posted because I told it to. And the route card is open. As the time progresses, items are all the production is coming together. The mixing for that, and at some point we have to report that as finished. So I'm going to report that as finished. Oops. Sorry, wrong place. Production order, report as finished. Okay, again, we can enter the good quantities, the error quantities, and any other thing that might be useful for us. I'm going to press. I'm going to mark the route and mark the picking list, meaning that there's nothing else that the route. Here's where the route finishes, and there's no more adding to the picking list. I'll click OK. Okay, so at this point, we have reported as finished. Now, this has triggered a quality order. So let's go back here to view, and let's take care of a peek at our quality order. Again, using the bricks test. Let's say this time the test have values a little bit higher, but it's between 8.5 and 15 being the standard value of 12. So I'm going to go into results. I'm going to click edit. Okay, someone's going to perform the test, and he's going to tell me that the result was 12.47. Okay, as I move across, oh, okay, so yeah, I put the wrong number here, 2 dots, 12.47. Okay, so it's going to validate. If for whatever reason I put a higher number, the test is going to fail. Okay, so I'm going to validate that. I'm going to close. And now the person in charge of validating these reports will come in and sign it off. So Elena Gasca is going to, again, validate that for us. Click here. So the order the quality order has been validated. So it means that the whole lot of orange juice concentrate is valid for the next process. Having completed this, all that we have left within this production order is ended. Okay. Okay, let's just make sure that everything's here is okay. Click on all. Oh, here, you see, there's still a route card open. And in this case, we have machine and human resources. So I'm going to post on that. Great. So now we can proceed to close and report it as end. We cannot leave anything pending here. So let's put end. It's going to end today. And the production of the frozen concentrate for orange juice is already completed and packed in 12 fluid ounce cases. Gonna close that, gonna refresh, and the production has been closed and it's ready for our next item to start, which is the P9000. So in order to proceed, I'm gonna close here. I'm gonna go back to our home base dashboard. So as the final step in the production process, we're going to show the production and the quality process relating to reconstituting, filling, and packing 100% orange juice from the concentrate P8000. Okay, turn it into the P9000. As our final step in this demonstration, we will see how to complete the customer sales order by delivering the item and invoicing our 100% orange juice from concentrate P9000. Finally, from our dashboard, we're going to go into our sales and marketing and go to all sales orders. And the last one that we have here is the one that we created at the start of the video demonstration, and we can see that's still open. So the only thing we have left basically here is to have the system reserve automatically the batches. Okay, so I'm gonna say change the reservation to automatic. Okay, and basically all I need to do is come here. Okay, let's save that. That's fine. And now we have to do the picking and the packing. So let's go back here to the picking. Again, someone in the inventory and the management warehouse will get a note of this and say, okay, let's create a packing slip. And so let's bring all these 520 boxes from the warehouse, whatever they are. And I'm going to say, yes, that's all we need. And of course, after we have served those 520 items, which we know it's in stock, there's nothing else that's going to be added or taken from that order. So I'm going to click OK. And the system is going to say, yeah, we have delivered. Right here, it's going to say, okay, items were delivered. Now, meaning that the customer either picked up the item or we contracted someone else to pick it up. Now, as our final step is that at some point in time, the item that we delivered will need to be invoiced. To do that, I'm going to go here in invoice and I'm going to say generate the invoice. And I'm not going to print it. Okay, so we can view it later. So that's going to take a little time. That's fine. Operation is completed. Now we can come here into the invoice journal and see that the invoice has been created for $11,169. And if we open it, sorry, let's view the document that's behind it, which is the original invoice. And we can finally see the invoice format, which of course can be changed, the item, the description, the boxes, the unit price, and so forth, and any information such as the due date and so forth. At this point, we can print it, send it by email, or post it somewhere else for it to pick up until it gets to the customer. Okay, so now that we have completed this, we can close all the pending pages and screens here. And let's refresh here. So it says that it's invoice. So now it will be someone in the credit and collection who is responsible to make sure and track any expired invoice. Now I'm going to close. I'm going to return to the home base dashboards, and that's going to be all for today. Hope you enjoy it, and many thanks for attending.